So being in the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program during college, I think, was for me a grounding experience. I think that leaving home and entering into college where there's so much happening and there's so many new people and there's academic pressure and all sorts of new social circles. For me, the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program was a space to really ground myself and decide who I wanted to become in my time at Guilford.
My name is Melissa McCourt, and I graduated from the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program in 2012.
My name is Jessie White. I graduated QLSP, Quaker Leadership Scholars Program, in 1999.
My name is Elena Robles. I graduated in May of 2017.
My name is Tom Clement. I graduated QLSP in 2013.
My name is Dorsha Kravitz. Up until a couple of months ago, my name is Dorsha Pinsky. I graduated from Guilford and the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program in 2006.
My name is Rania Campbell-Boussier. I graduated from the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program in 2008.
My name is Yves Dusenga. I graduated May 2017.
My name is John Watts. I live in Philadelphia, and I graduated from the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program in 2006.
So college was this time of tremendous growth for me, both academically and spiritually. And the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program really held me at a time of this big transformation in my life, where I was experiencing a lot of mystical experience and just a lot of questions that I needed to sit with. And it was a sanctuary space for me. It was a space that held me during that time.
When I was in college, you had this group of people in your year level, in the whole community of people who care about you, who wants to know how you've been doing. You're free to share about how your week is going, how your college experience is going. So that's very critical to kind of have a support system while going through all these changes and growing up, meeting new people.
I think that being part of the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program completely informed my college experience. Whether it was attending meeting for worship every Friday night. Did we do that every Friday night? Like, the fact that we went to meeting for worship on a Friday night as college students, that centered our weekend. Or being asked to speak at Spring to offer a prepared message. So to be asked to be a minister. And the fact that it allowed me to bring this part of myself that I don't feel like I can bring anywhere. And that part being the part of me that cares about connecting to spirit and cares about being vulnerable with people.
I feel like it helped me breathe, like really, really breathe. And I mean that like on a multitude of different levels. And how do you, like, when you move away from breathing, when you're not breathing, when it feels like you're drowning, like, how do you either have the tools, the space, the community to come back into that breath? To remind yourself that breath is always there.
Some of my favorite memories, and I'm missing so many, 10 years later, I suppose that it's tough to pull out. But some of my fondest, as crazy as it is, are Avanti, when we all just met each other. And just the instant bond that we really had with each other was something really special.
The community of the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program was really amazing to be a part of. I also have some wonderful business meeting memories, I guess. But being able to witness.
Memories are of business.
Yes.
Let's explain that.
I have some beautiful memories of witnessing consensus at its best in business meetings and being able to watch as the collective was able to, through individuals sharing their truth and listening to spirit, come to better and more integrated and more beautiful plans than any one person had thought of on their own.
I remember the first day I arrived in the U.S. Like everybody was waiting for me to go to the first year retreat, and I think I made it like maybe in 30 minutes. I was off like 25-hour plane, and I had to go to Virginia with everybody else. So that's kind of an interesting memory. And
the fond memories I have is of community. I had a lot of friends in my year level, so it was going to see some of the people. Like a lot of people came from my home meeting. 2 or 3 people, maybe 4, I don't know, that I basically know my whole life. So it was like family. It was like I'm going to just be with my family.
One of my fondest memories participating in Quaker Leadership Scholars Program was in the spiritual formation year. We were partnered with someone to be our spiritual friend who we could go to every week or any period of time and just really share what was happening for me spiritually and to have witness of that and to feel held in that as well.
I also remember ridiculous games of Wink at all QLSP, weekend trips that we took. I think of a specific snowball fight that we had as a year level. I think about strange eating competitions that Scott Pierce Coleman made us have. I think about just really sitting in the hut together as a group in front of a fire, just enjoying each other's company.
My job now is as the Quaker Education Coordinator at Morristown Friends School. And I break that down by saying that I help support the spiritual, social, and emotional development of my students. Something that I really love about it is I remember growing up and thinking, okay, I know I want to teach religion. And then going through QLSP and thinking like, I want to do what Deborah does, or like, I want to do what Scott does. Or Frank. I don't feel like I can do what Max does. My brain's just like not that big. But then I just like wanted to be that spiritual support and guidance for younger people. So yeah, I love that QLSP gave me models of people who do the kind of work that I do now and helped me see that I could do something similar.
My primary position right now is as Arts and Spirituality Coordinator for Pendle Hill. Historically, I worked as an art therapist, and while I saw art therapy as my ministry in the world, it wasn't something that I could openly speak about. I couldn't get God into my language. When I was part of the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program, my major was a combination of things that summed up to art therapy, but after participating in the program, I knew I needed a spiritual component to my academics. The realization that I needed to have more spiritual focus in my professional life changed my path from just working in art therapy to working in a space where I could help folks emotionally, spiritually, socially, on their journeys and their transformative experiences here at Pendle Hill through the Arts and Spirituality Program.
For the last 7.5 years, I have been working as a prison case manager. So I've been working in the Philadelphia Department of Prisons with people until last year who were living with HIV, and then my job changed a little bit when our mission expanded. And so currently I'm working with young people ages 18 to 26 who are currently incarcerated or who are released from jail within the last 90 days. Specifically now that I'm working with young people, we are really working towards reducing recidivism by linking individuals to things like GED programs, high school diploma programs, employment resources, identification, housing, food resources, clothing resources.
In 2012, I founded a rooftop farming nonprofit, Cloud9 Rooftop Farm, with another Quaker Leadership Scholars Program graduate, Claire Heyer. And we started this out of a love of farming, and it seemed a little bit more feasible than starting a goat lawn mowing business. Maybe. We were really excited to explore ways of growing more food in Philadelphia and working to grow that food in as a way of building community as well.
In the last couple of years, I've become the videographer for Friends Journal, which is a Quaker magazine here in Philadelphia. I run the QuakerSpeak YouTube channel for them. So that's a new project that we're doing where we release a video every week, and it's just different interviews that I've done with Quakers all over the country. All of my interviews start off with a period of silent worship where we're both getting centered and grounded. And that's become basically my spiritual practice. Is at least once a week I sit down with someone with cameras running and with microphones all over them and with a list of questions. And that can be, at its worst, that can be stilted and awkward, and you can feel very self-conscious being interviewed like that. But the goal is to have it be a really authentic conversation. And so what I get to do is I get to hold that person in prayer and hold the whole space in prayer and try and bring out the most authentic ministry that I can from my interview subject. And that is such a gift to get to do that as my work. I feel really grateful that it's my job.
I think the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program influenced me a lot and continues to influence me in this line of work. There are many times when I think about how one of my QLSP mentors might respond to me in a situation and or wording that they used to describe a Quaker practice. And I will reference that way of framing Quaker values or practice or belief. The way that they were with me showed me how I could be with my students. I'm still trying to figure out how to incorporate preaching projects. I haven't been able to figure it out yet, but maybe someday.
I think that participating in the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program really helped to frame my identity while I was in college, as not only a creative person, but as a leader. It also helped me to see that someone who identifies as a pretty gentle person can have leadership skills, that introverts can have leadership skills, and really finding my voice in college through the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program.
In the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program, I really saw how when community is able to come together and collectively come up with a vision and a plan and carry that out, I find it's always more amazing than something that an individual could come up with on their own. And so that's really impacted the way we approach garden design at Cloud9. And I also saw in a real way the importance of deep, ongoing community connections. And so we also, so in addition to each garden being designed and built by the collective, each garden has as a focus supporting community growth and cohesion.
So being in QLSP, you learn how to kind of work kind of in a teamwork framework, and that's very important even in software development, because you're constantly working with more than 2 people, and you have to have kind of, we call them code reviews. You have to, when you finish something, you have to show the other person to see what they think about it. So I think QLSP does it in a different way that, I mean, you have something to share, you share it, and I mean, people are gonna like listen to you, and then they can share what they think they heard from you, and you keep learning, and that's the thing with QLSP. Like my freshman year was different than my senior year, because you keep learning as you get to know people more, and I feel that's the same thing with software development. As you do it more, you get better, and you write better code.
We also had a set of elders and mentors in the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program that really cared about us and really saw us and saw what we were struggling with, but also they were really rooting for us. They were seeking to lift up our gifts and help us see how our gifts can be of service in the world.
I feel like there's like this connection, and you can feel like the Spirit or God moving through them to you, speaking through them to you, and there's this trust that you're building in the space that you're building together. So that's definitely there. And I think it's important too, because they can see either the direction that you're going, or you can be going as a young person, or they have this, like, I guess they're like a vessel, right? God, or the divine, the light, whatever it is you want to say, speaks to them, through them, for you.
Yeah, elders in QLSP are very important. When I came in as a first year, it's good to have people to look up to, people who've gone through the same experience you're about to go through for 4 years, and kind of give you some advice or even just listen to you. And that's I think the most important thing I've learned from QLSP is as you kind of progress through the 4 years, you have to kind of reach out to the younger people and just listen to them. Sometimes you don't even have to give an advice, but just I think it's good to know that somebody who's older than you is thinking about you.
That there were adults in my life when I was a college student that I wanted to talk to about struggles that I was having, that I wanted to like process my decision making with, that I really trusted and knew that they cared about me and wanted what was best for me. That must change the way that a college student approaches their life.
The deep spiritual formation that can happen in the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program really informs a lifetime of faith and practice for Quakers. My hope for college students is that they would find a supportive community like the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program to help shape and hold and support them as they're growing and learning in college. For me, it was an essential function of being able to get through college and do it well.
I wish that all college students had a safe space once a week to really check in. And those words are intentional. I mean, we checked in with each other on a weekly basis. and in a very safe space. And we really supported each other and uplifted each other through some pretty difficult times. And I think that college can be a very lonely experience for some individuals, and it was not for me, because I knew that I had that community.
I think we should all find a way to nourish our spiritual life. And I'm really happy that I got that experience through Quaker Scholars Program. But also spirituality looks so different, and it can be anything from like making art, taking a walk in the woods with a friend, or organized religion. But I think that if we all took the time to do that, like to address those needs, it helps us be more whole.
I guess it's hard to appreciate how much it's important for other college students to have places where they can share what they're going through, whether it be academically, spiritually, anything going on in the world, and have that space where people can challenge you about what you're saying. So I have so many friends who are out of QLSP, and it can be hard when you don't have a space to come into and just say what you want to say.
While we were centering, the question that kept coming to my mind was, how can we honor QLSP? And how can we honor it as something that has a life of its own, no matter who is a part of it, and that has been in existence, I think, for long enough that it has a life of its own, and will continue to live. And so honoring the life of QLSP, and then also honoring the life of those who impacted me while I was in QLSP. So that was just like kept coming